Hello, everyone. This is Devin Thorpe for RegDTV at Crowdcast. And I'm excited to have with us a great guest. It's Andy Sturner, who is the CEO and founder of Boatsetter. Andy, thank you very much for joining us today. It's great to have you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We are excited to learn more about your offering. So you are in the middle of a Reg D 506C offering. You're raising money. Tell us a little bit about your business and your raise.
Sure. Happy to. So our company is called Collaborative Boating, Inc., and as the name tells the story, we are all about collaborative boating. The flagship product, the consumer-facing product we have, is a product called Boatsetter. Boatsetter is a collaborative consumption platform. It's a peer-to-peer boat rental platform that allows people who own a boat to be able to rent their boat out to people on the internet.
Fantastic. Now, do people typically rent their boats so people pull up and take them with a trailer? Are they renting them in the water? Are they renting them with a captain attached? How does that usually work?
Sure. So that's actually one of the really interesting insights that we had when we put this business together. So my partners and I are experienced executives who have decades of experience not only in tech startups, but my partners, my president and COO, as example, spent 11 years in the marine industry with me, but before that spent 22 years at Enterprise Rental Car. We have a very, very deep and experienced team in the marine industry and in the tech industry. So when we started looking at the idea of bringing collaborative consumption to the marine industry, we really had to look at this from the perspective of the renter. Right? What is that experience going to be like for somebody to go out on the water? And where there are definitely corollaries to an Airbnb, for sure. I mean, obviously, they really are leaders in this space. But for us, the key insight was there's a very big difference between a house, right, or maybe a relay rides or a get around. You think about a car. These are very different experiences than boating. And therefore, you have to approach the concept of collaborative consumption a little bit differently. Not only because the trust dynamics are going to be very different when you hand the keys of your boat to a complete stranger, right? That's a pretty scary thing to do, but maybe even more importantly, when you think about it not only from the boat owner's perspective and who's going to be operating, but when you think about it from the renter's perspective, and you realize that white-knuckle experience of being out on a boat if you don't really know how to pilot a boat and how to captain a boat. So what we went out and looked at is how can we take the concept behind Airbnb, which we know resonates with millennials today and with a very, very broad audience, but make it really resonate with someone who wants to go out on the water. And we looked to Uber, right? And we said, is there a way to bring Uber and Airbnb together? And we did that by bringing captains into the equation. So we're really the first peer-to-peer boat rental marketplace that allows boaters to go enjoy an experience on a day on the water regardless of their boating experience. And we do that by marrying captains and boat owners and create a seamless experience that can appeal to anyone that wants to go out on the water.
So are the captains usually the boat owners, or are they third parties to the boat owners?
No, they are third parties. In fact, there's a lot of legal requirements and Coast Guard requirements around that. So they're absolutely third party. In fact, one of the things that we did, we founded the company back in March of last year, so we're about a year old. We actually only launched the platform a few weeks ago, so we're just really a true ground floor startup, and I'll come back to that in a moment. But we launched a website, I guess now about 3 months ago, called captainswanted.com. And we are literally crowdsourcing captains. We have almost 1,000 captains now already on the site looking to work with us and get all their accreditations so that they can go out and go to work.
Wow, what a fun opportunity. It creates a whole new career opportunity, I would think, for guys to become captains without having to own boats and yet be able to spend the day doing what they love every day.
You actually just hit it on the head. One of the really fascinating things when you look out at it's actually 68,000 U.S. Coast Guard licensed captains out there, but when you look at that audience of passionate people who want to have a professional career as a professional vessel operator, their biggest challenge is there's not enough large yachts to employ that many captains. And so if you have this real passion for wanting to captain a boat, if you're not on a commercial charter or you're not on a large yacht, you're really a part-time captain. You got to have a full-time job to supplement it, and you do this, your one passion, you do this on the side. So we thought this created this wonderful virtuous circle within the industry to bring all of these people together. So we're really excited about it.
Let's talk a little bit about scale. You know, investors are going to be interested, if nothing else, in your potential for scale. Are there enough boats? Are there enough would-be boaters to make this into a business at scale?
You know, it's funny. You said I was the founder. Actually, the co-founder of the business, the guy who came up with the idea, the true founder of the business, came to me looking for an angel investment, I guess late in 2012. And he came to me because I'm in the marine industry. I own a portfolio of marinas and have for the last 11 years. And when we started having the conversation around the business, I looked at making the investment and got so excited about it that I went from angel investor to chairman to CEO to, so I'm deep in this now. And one of the reasons why I not only invested in the concept and have continued to invest, including in this round that we're going to talk about in a minute, the reason was because of the scale. The scale is massive. Most people don't realize the marine industry itself is a $121 billion market. I mean, it's a massive, massive market. There are actually 16 million boats registered in America. Right, so it's a very, very large population. In fact, last year, estimates range between 83 and 88 million people went boating. And this is something most people don't realize, that 90% of Americans live within just a few miles of the water, right? So, because when you count inland lakes and all, we're actually very, very close to navigable waterways. So here's the amazing part of this business. If you can only capture 1/2 of those 16 million boats, or 75,000 boats, and if you can capture just 1/2 of those 83 to 88 million boaters that are out there, right? So 400,000, let's say. And if those boats go out 9 times a year, not a lot, less than once a month, and if my average boater goes out twice a year, and if they spend $600 for that day on the water, this is a $600 million turnover business. I mean, so when you talk about how large this can scale, it's tremendously exciting.
Yeah. This is not a little business. Not a little business. That's great. So tell us a little bit about the offering now. How much are you trying to raise? How's it going?
It's going great. So I was actually approached by a friend of mine, a fellow Miami YPO member, Joanna Schwartz, who was coming in as CEO of Early Shares, this new crowdfunding platform. This is right before September when the general solicitation ban was lifted, and she said, "Andy, would you be my first offering?" And it's interesting because you sat back and said, "Boy, this is new. This is cutting edge," which I love. I've always been a serial entrepreneur starting up, so that was exciting. But you had to sit back and say, why are we going to do this? Why are we going to pioneer and try something this new? And what occurred to us, and I've been both on the angel investment side and on the startup side for a long time, and the process of raising capital for a startup is very, very inefficient. And that's just a fact. There is no formula. There is no, if you just follow these steps, it's a very, very inefficient process, and you've got to go out and get lucky. I mean, quite frankly, you just have to get lucky. So when on balance, what we realized was going to be the best and most interesting aspect of this for us was that we were going to create this wonderful diligence site that we've created. It's very, very professionally done. In fact, I was very impressed with the fact, because this you don't see from many startups, the diligence, the due diligence and background checks, and guys at Early Shares have this company called CrowdCheck. I mean, they, from a compliance perspective, they were all over us, which some startup CEOs might not be up for that. I've been on 2 public companies, right, between Moviefone and Sportsline. I've been through this, so I took comfort in all of that diligence. So I knew there was credibility there behind the platform. I knew that there was going to give me the ability as CEO to be able to make a really professional presentation of the information. Now, given the fact that it was brand new, we knew that liquidity was going to be the biggest issue on the platform. So we have gone out and have been together marketing the offering with some success. In fact, we are raising $2.25 million, and we've already crossed $1 million. The minimum, our minimum was $1 million. We've already crossed that threshold. So
congratulations!
Thank you. We'll have our first closing soon, and it's gone, tremendously well. I would say that. The interesting part of it was that what we were really trying to do was broaden our network. We were trying to expand out and find new advocates. Joanna and the guys in the team at Early Shares had a great idea. Said, Andy, given the nature of your offering, given the fact that this is a passion play on top of everything else, let's do a combined rewards program, sort of a la a Kickstarter kind of thing, and an equity offering. So if you invest in Boat Center at different levels, and we've used naval ranks based on how much you invest, you get different benefits back in terms of discounted commission-free rentals, so that we're looking for brand advocates, right? So I'm looking to expand my network, and I'm looking for brand advocates, and we were able to accomplish both through the platform, which was perfect.
That's tremendous. I've got to think, too, that this will ultimately change not only the situation, the model for boat users, but for those who have boats. It makes owning a boat much more affordable if you can rent it out on the days you're not using it, because very few people use them every day, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's actually one of the most compelling KPIs in the business. The average boat owner uses their boat 20 days a year. I mean, so there are actually, here's an amazing statistic. There are 7.6 billion idle days of capacity in the universe. So again, you talk about scale. There's a lot. Here's another crazy statistic. If you can capture 1.3% of that idle capacity, it's a $31 billion revenue company. I mean, this is a big, big market. But for boat owners, the key driving force in really, truly enjoying the boat ownership experience, it's not just about the expense, funny enough. It's given the lack of utilization, it's about maintaining the boat. So when we look out at the customers that we're bringing onto the platform, what we say to them first and foremost is, if you rent just one time a month, you will subsidize your cost of maintenance and keep your boat charter ready. That's what the big yacht guys call it, charter ready all the time, which means when you come to the boat yourself, you're going to have a better experience. Rent it out twice a month, in addition to paying for your maintenance and some subsidies, you're really going to start to really significantly lower your cost of ownership. But we lead not with reducing costs. We lead with improving your experience as a boat owner.
Yeah, that's great. Well, the clever idea here that you've incorporated of creating some rewards along with the
I can take no credit for it. It was all the guys at Early Shares, but yes, we at least embraced it.
Yeah, that is very clever, and I imagine that's resonating with your investors. Isn't that in fact what you're seeing? That they like that idea. They're excited about those benefits.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I think, look, at the end of the day, it's about the merits of the investment, right? So, but sure, anybody that invests in a business would love to have a few perks, right? So of course, it's been interesting.
No, that's great. Well, Andy, I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. Before we wrap up, tell us how people can get in touch with you. If they're interested in investing, especially, how do they access that information? Where do they go?
They're very, very easy, actually. If you just go to earlyshares.com, we're promoted on the website. There's a boat setter offering there. You can just go there and request access. The specific URL, if you just want to get right to our project, is earlyshares.com/projects/boat setter. And that'll take you right to the site, and you can request access, and I'll grant access.
Fantastic. Well, Andy, it's great to meet you, and we wish you all the success in your raise.
Why, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here.
All righty. Now, for those of you who are following us, I encourage you to visit crowdcastnetwork.com to watch this and other RegDTV episodes, along with our crowdfund update. You can also follow us on Twitter at CrowdcastTV. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And again, Andy, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All righty. Let's do some good.